A very good evening to you on this not so beautiful Sunday night. It's been raining all afternoon. I was supposed to go for a walk, but it never happened because the rain just sort of stopped. And then it's like whenever I thought, oh, I'm going to get my trainers and go out, and it started raining again. How are we doing tonight? What have you been up to this week? Do send me pictures, send me messages, let me know what sort of beadwork you've been doing, what you've been up to. I love to know how you're doing. Oh, Jackie's here. Is Kitti live tonight or not until Wednesday? I am live now. And I'm going to be live from Wednesday on Wednesday. So this is the last Sunday we're doing in the summer. But in the spring, we're still in the spring. And for the summer, we're going to move to Wednesday. So I am here tonight. Right. Okay. Quickly, let me just open a couple of the windows here. And then we can get started. So tonight we're going to be playing with these beautiful Kalos beads. They are quite small in size, but they got 2 holes on them. They're 4mm, but they got 2 holes on them. So we will see how well we can stitch them together. I would like to try a pattern first. I sort of have something in mind that we're going to be using just beads and size 11 seed beads, so together they can be quite nice, and just turn it off, can be quite nice, and we can introduce some other sizes of beads as well later on, but I really would like to try just the seed beads and the Kalos beads together. Right, I'm just going to drop the link on Facebook very quickly. I just remembered I had such a I didn't really do much today, such a relaxing day today. And when you decide to have a relaxing day, sometimes you like you relax too much, you forgot what you were supposed to do. And I'm supposed to drop the link in on the Facebook page, which I'm just going to do that right now, and then we can get started. So, how's everybody doing? I'm gonna go and see if I can see. There we go. If I can see you, yeah, I can see, and we are live. That's all good. Right, okay, so I've got so many different colors, and there's so many different colors on the website as well. And actually, from Wednesday, because the live is moving from Wednesday, what we're going to do each week, we're going to go through a particular type of bead. And I got Simon to set you up for the next 5 or 6 weeks, I think. We're going to use glass pearls, all sorts of different shapes. I'm going to try to keep away from the normal sort of round beads, because most of us will have a round bead or 2 at home in our stash. But I'm going to try to stay with the shaped ones. So what we can do with drops, what we can do with tubes. I got some glass beads in there as well. Some little rondos. Actually, did I bring them home? I think I brought them. I'll show you at the end if you have time. And then like we're going to use some 2-hole beads. We're going to use some bits of pieces throughout the summer, but we're going to concentrate on one particular beads, because I think we got so much stuff in our stash that we could all use loads of bits of pieces up, and it's just sort of that special bead what we need. So I am just gonna turn you down, and then we can get started, and then just see how we get on with the design. So I would like to do a somewhat netted design with this one. I'm hoping that they're gonna work together and just gonna go nicely together. There we go, press that one, and I'm gonna come down to the table. So these beads are, and I'm just gonna grab these ones out, it doesn't really matter which ones. These are little 4mm beads, and they have 2 holes on them. So you got 1 hole just there. Let me just zoom in more. And then we have got another hole right next door to it. So I'm not sure if it's 11s we should be using, or we need to use 15s for this one. But I'm going to be weaving it with seed beads. And we're going to see how they could do it just by themselves. But I think if you weave it with seed beads, they're going to look quite nice. So I'm going to go and grab, actually this color looks quite nice. So I'm just gonna go and grab a seed bead to go with this color. This is just the first one I put my hand on, but there is so many nice colors in this range. I mean, look at this beautiful sort of silvers and greens and browns in their very beautiful color. This one, look at this one, this coppery one, blue and copper together. This one is nice as well. We could be using any of it really. This, if we're gonna start choosing colors, we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here for the rest of the night, just trying to choose colors. You know that. You know that's gonna happen. So I'm just kind of gonna have to grab. I do fancy this blue though, because I think this one with some orange would look really nice, or sort of a nice goldy one. I'm gonna have a quick look. What? Because I got loads of colors here. This one is nice as well. This one has got like a haze on it. Very beautiful color. Going back to the browns, sort of browns and ambers together. It's a bit darker shade than that one. So this one is more yellowy and this one is more browny. That's a beautiful. Look at this. It's more like a minky color. There's so many beautiful, and what I love about this one is like a minky color, but it has got silver sort of dribbles on it. Beautiful color. Right, then there is loads of coppers and oranges. They look beautiful as well. But I'm going to have to pick one. I'm going to pick one tonight. And which one we're going to use? Let's have a look in this one. Oh, look at this one. All sort of, again, more tealish color with the browns as well. Have we got a fancy something? Oh, look at this. Look at this blue with that purple shimmer. This is really nice. This is very much me, this color. I love this one. Shall we use this one? And we could use like we could use Lucy's saying I need some big bags. I'm gonna open this because I really like the look of this color. Where is my scissors gone? Because I was in the other room last night and all of my scissors have disappeared as usual. I got a big one here. It's not very, it won't be good to cut any thread. We will be alright to cut the bag, but it's not really sharp at all. So let's have a look at this color. I really do like this color. I think this one with a tanzanite seed bead. Let me just pour a bit more out. This one with a tanzanite seed bead would look really good, or equally like sort of a blue seed bead as well. Let me move this over a little bit because we are so off center. But I think, let me just grab a couple of seed beads out and see. Even aqua, I think even aqua would go with it. But the one I was thinking, which this is the case when you want to put your hand on something, you're definitely not going to put your hand on it. Tanzanite. There is tanzanite, so I think that would be a really good color to go with it because it's kind of got that grayish hint in it. I'll leave the top here. Or we want like a I know the color number DB is 23. Where I'm going to put my hand on it right now. That's another matter, but never mind. Let's try the tanzanite. I have had a little bit of a clear up and tidy up, and you know what happens when you clear and tidy up your crafty spaces and everything disappears. Where did I put that color? It's not in there. Oh, never mind. We might have to go down to 15 anyway. So I'm going to grab some thread. I think they look actually quite nice. Grab some thread and we can get started. So when we're designing kits, like I never really know what we're going to end up with. Because, and I'm going to use that thread. No, this one is blends in better. We're never really going to know what we're going to end up with because we are just kind of like playing with it all. So we probably have to have a look, 2 or 3 different scenarios with this. I think I'm going to just thread my needle and get started. I'm going to have to run and get the scissors because they're definitely not here anywhere. I'm so bad at like taking scissors out I always like take them everywhere with me, and then I leave them, and I keep taking them into work, and then I have got no scissors here, or vice versa. Pens as well. I'm terrible with pens and pick up everybody's pens. So when I'm going around, everybody's holding their pens very tightly. Right, okay, so I'm going to move them out of the way a bit. So I'm just going to pop this down on the mat. So the pattern I really would like to do is to have a seed bead in between these beads, and we're going to go backwards and forwards. I think 3, let's do 3. So we're going to, don't make it like too wide. We're going to do 3 width. So I'm going to go along and pick up 1 line, and then we're going to come back and add the seed beads in where the missing holes are. So they're going to one go in there, one going to go in there. And then we will come out here. We're going to pick up a seed bead, and we're going to pick up our next Kalos bead and go on from there. So we're going to have 3, but we could just have 2 side by side. Shall we have 2? Shall we have 3? We could have 4. Let me know in the chat. This is going to be the width of the bracelet going across. Let me know how many shall we work with. 2, 3, or 4. Let me know in the chat what you want me to do. We could do any of it. And while you're doing that, I'm going to quickly come and say hello. Lucy's here. Barbara, good evening. Lovely. Celia, good evening. Jubilee Dragonflies, she's been making. Lucy popped the link in for June. Link above for materials list using tonight. Yeah, so we're going to be using all sorts of different bits, but this is the Kalos beads is what we're concentrating on tonight. Good evening, Mina. Good evening, Amelia. Right, okay. Celia is saying 3. So I think I like, so when I'm doing anything like this, 2 works out. Michelle is saying 2 works out, but I think 3, like, I don't know, I just like uneven numbers. Good evening, Sharon and Michelle. Travis, do 2 or 3. So the next person is going to say 2 or 3. We're going to go with that one. So we're going to do 2 or 3. I'm going to start at the end there. I'm going to pick up 2, and then we see if we need to pick up 3 or we're going to stick with the 2. Who is going to say the next one? So we stick with 2 or 3. Let's have a look. I'm going to take a sip of my drink as well. Lucy's saying 3. Well, either case, I think it's not going to matter because the pattern will work for 2 or 3 as well. So I picked up a Kalos, seed bead, Kalos, seed bead, Kalos, and I'm going to pick up, I'm not sure if I need 1 seed bead or 2 seed bead on the side, but I'm going to pick up 2 to try it. And I'm going to take this down on my thread. I'm then going to come back through the second hole of the last Kalos. Minnie's saying 3 as well. Ruth is saying 3. And I'm going to pull this up. I think 2, perhaps maybe 1 would have been enough, but I'm going to go with 2 because you don't know how the side is going to work out. I'm going to pick up a seed bead. I'm going to go into the Kalos. Pick up another seed bead. Go into the next Kalos. I hope I didn't, no. Hope I didn't go through. So we got 3. Now I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead and the Kalos, and I'm going to come back on myself and go into the seed bead. The last seed bead I just added, I'm just going to go backwards and forwards, adding these on, picking up another Kalos, going into the seed bead, picking up another Kalos, going into the last seed bead here, but then that's going to pull it to the side, and I don't want it to pull to the side like that. So we are going to have to either double back, or this seed bead is going to be turned forever. I'm going to step back from this one because I don't want this seed bead to sit this way. I want it to sit that way. So just to sort of work out that it has the same look, I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead and I'm going to go into this Kalos. And actually I'm going to run down on this row because that's what I want to achieve. And we just need to work out a thread path in between how we're going to achieve that they're going to sit next to each other like that. If you had 4, it still would be the same. If I picked up an extra one, it still would be the same. I might have to add more seed beads to the side, because going backwards all the time is going to take up a lot of thread. So we want it to flow. We really do want it to flow, but I do want them to sit that way. Unless if you do it in a right angle weave motion and not sort of a netted motion, then that might work out. And then we constantly sort of be going around. So let me just start again. So if you're gonna do a sort of right angle weave, we're gonna again start the same. So 1 Kalos, 1 seed, 1 Kalos, 1 seed, 1 Kalos. This is the thing, you always go back, like I always go back to right angle weave a lot. So let's just start again. I'm gonna come back. If anybody has got the beads and playing as well and comes up with a different idea, please do send us the picture so we can include everybody else in it. So I'm going back. I'm just picking up the seed beads. And I just pinged my bead. Come on, thread. What has happened with you? There we go. Right, picking up another seed bead, getting to the end. So to complete this, I'm going to pick up another 2 seed bead. I'm going to come through, so I have all of these, so I have got a good base. But then we're going to have to go through everything twice again, so that's not really going to solve the problem. So we have to come up with a different stitch. You might need to turn these beads and pick them up in a different way. Oh, I don't want to go through that last. Oh, yes, I do. And come through these as well. So I'm in position to add the next row. Unless, no, but it's still gonna be, we're still gonna be picking up one, then go through the seed bead, pick up another one, and go through the next seed bead, pick up another one, then go to which seed bead. So this is where we're gonna run into the problem that we haven't got the last seed bead there. So again, we would have to pick up a seed bead, a Kalos and a seed bead, and turn back on ourselves so we have both of the sides the same. And then we still have to go all the way down and then come back up to be in position to add the next row. I mean, like, in all fairness, like, it's not a bad thing to going backwards and forwards, because it's gonna make your bracelet stiffer. It's gonna be more of a fabric feel to it. It's gonna be stronger, but definitely gonna take longer. But I'm gonna go back, come back on myself, add the seed beads in, maybe do another row, and then we're gonna think about how we can make this easier. How we can turn, maybe we need different size seed beads, because it's turning the thread around. Or there is one other way we can do it. And then sew the ends together at the end. Rachel said she's here. She's sorry she's late. We only just started, lovely. I was waffling on for the first 10 minutes, I guess. So if I'm coming out of this one, this is now when I would be picking up the 2. And then going back on myself and filling it in. But I'm already like thinking this is going to be too much just to go up and down and adding the beads in all the time. So we have to find a better solution, because when we get down to this end, again, we will be missing the 2 seed beads on the side. So we'd have to come back on ourselves again and back and back. It's just a lot of going backwards and forwards. So I think we need to find a better a better thread path for this. If we turn these beads slightly, so we just went in a straight line, but if we turn them slightly so we could be going up and down on them, maybe that would work. So if they are there, it's because they got two holes, not one hole. You kind of like need to sew both holes so you can go up and go into the two beads and whatever beads you have around, and then come back down and add your next row. And I do want to, hold on, let me just grab out another color. Not sure which one shall be like a nice purpley one. So that one's got two colors in them. That one is got copper on the top. That is my nice purple. We try this one. Oh, there is a purple there as well. This one is kind of similar, but it's purple. It's got that shine in it. So if I get another one out, if we just had these, if I didn't actually add the seed beads in between, let me just pick these up, and we just had those, and I would be picking up another one here when I come out. I wonder how would they fit together then. But then in between you're only adding two, and then you would have to go on at three. So again, I don't think that would kind of work. Let me know in the chat, is anybody's playing with these beads, and if you have got any ideas as well, because we need collective ideas together. That's the beauty of it, so we can bounce off of each other. Right, so let's try to do kind of like a different way. So I am gonna pick up, I'm just sort of moving along the thread. So 2, 4, 6 seed beads, and the 7th one, and I'm just gonna come back through this one because these seed beads are not sitting the right way. But just to start us off, I'm gonna pick up one of these Kalos. I'm gonna pick up 2 seeds, and then I'm gonna go through the other hole, and I'm gonna go through the next seed bead on my base. So I'm kind of like trying to replicate like a bit of a herringbone stitch here. So I went through the next one. Actually, I need to go through 2, not just 1, because otherwise they're going to be too close to each other. I need to go through this one as well. I'm going to pick up another Kalos and 2 seed beads. Take this down. Come back through that one. And go through the next 2. Just a little bit twisted there, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to twist it all around in a minute, and it's going to sit nicely. Again, going back on the other hole and the single seed bead at the end. So we kind of have done the base row, and from here we need to go up. Come on, turn around, you're twisted. So from here we need to go up and around and into that seed bead. So I'm going to pick up 1, 2, let's say 3 seed beads I will need for the side, and I'm going to go up to this seed bead at the top, and I'm going to pick up 1 Kalos. I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, take this down. I'm going to go down through the free hole. I'm going to go down to that seed beads and come up through the next and pull this tight, so they are pulling together now. Picking up another Kalos and 2 seed beads. Taking these down, I'm gonna go through the free hole, down through the other seed beads towards the other end, and this one is twisted again and up here. Oh, I like this one. This one's sitting so nicely. Another Kalos, 2 seed beads, taking this down, and now I'm just gonna go through a single seed bead, and then I'm gonna pick up 3, so I get to the top. This one's gonna look good. So 1, 2, 3 to get to the top, and I'm gonna add another row. And what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to fill the missing seed beads in later on. 1, 2. This one sits nice. Going down on this one and up that one. And obviously we could make it wider if we needed to. Just pull that row tight and back this one tight. What do we think of this? I think that they're looking rather nicely. There's a nice feel about them. And going down into that, up in the next unit, and then repeating it for one last time. 1, 2. Going down the free hole and into that last seed bead. I'm going to pick up 3. 1, 2, 3. And then come up through here. Now I do like this, but I kind of, what do we think? Like, I'm going to do one more row. Does the size 11 look a little bit too big? Shouldn't we be going down to size 15 with these ones? Would size 15 look better next to it? Let me know in the chat what you think. Shall we stay with size 11 or shall we try it with size 15? So it's a bit more petite. The seed bead a bit more petite next to our Kalos beads. 1, 2. And then going down and then up. And then I changed color of the colors as well, because we started with the blue, and as I got these purple ones out of the bag, we are working with the purple ones. And now I'm going to pick 1, 2, 3 and then step up. And I think once I made the length of the bracelet, I would run down and I would add those missing 3 seed beads in there. So I don't, we might have to add 4, but maybe 3 is enough. So it looks, what do we think? Michelle is saying size 15, Richard is saying try size 15. I think it's worth a try because it does look nice, but I think the seed beads might be too big. And actually, she said, love this color of color. So this is Frost Anise Bronze. It's called this color. She's got a little bag. It's called Frost Anise Bronze. I think, looking at it from here, if we're gonna change, I'm gonna grab some 15s. If we come up and start it that way, and come up and come up, we end up down here. And we need to step up over there. So we need to do something on both sides. So it would sit, the last bead would sit right way. So if we could just imagine, we could just have, we always end up at the bottom. So we always gonna have either a thread or something there to be able to turn around, because we have to turn around somewhere, because we're going to be exiting, once I added, exiting down at the bottom, and we could jump there. If it was a one whole bead, we could do like a figure of kind of like going down and up. Actually, we could go down. Yeah, I think if we exit here, we come down through that hole, we cut across because there's a tiny little, there's probably about a couple, not even 2 millimeters, maybe just 1.5 millimeters in between the two holes. So the thread would like kind of like disappear in between the seed beads, go back up here, and we're gonna be coming out there. So here, and yeah, I got an idea. It's gonna be a little bit. It's gonna be. I'm gonna try this color with it. Is it too strong or something? No, I think that will be good. Let's try that color with it. So, just grabbing the 15s onto my mat. A bit more of these as well. I'm gonna pull the 11s away a bit because you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna make them fly and they're gonna go all over. There we go. So I'm gonna start again, and actually I'm gonna start with a new thread. I need to find my scissors. Hang on, I need a pair of scissors. Oh, Leanne had one on her desk, so we're good. I didn't have to go to the lounge. Leanne had one on her desk, so we're all good. Right, cutting this thread off, and I'm gonna start a new thread. Which will leave that on there. And because I'm gonna be working with 15s, I'm gonna use a size 11 needle. Oh, that's 11 as well. I'm loving these needles, these color eye needles. I use the 11 so much now. I use it so much. Because it's just a little bit thinner than the 10, but still got more stability than the 12. Right, okay, so I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna pick up 2. And I'm gonna go down. Then I'm gonna pick up 2, pick up a Kalos and another 2. Take these guys down. And then I'm gonna come down on this free hole. Repeat this one more time. Is it 2? Or did I need that 2 next to it? Hold on. Yes. At the start we do need 2. Another 2. Kalos. Another 2. Taking these down. And then come back to the free hole. And for now, for this very last one, I'm just going to pick up a seed bead. And I'm going to turn my thread path around with that. We work at the end later on. So I like to work at the pattern first. How's it going to go? And then I come back and work out the ends. How I'm going to deal with the ends. And what sort of clasp am I going to put on. How I'm going to attach things to it as well. So I'm going back. I just picked up a Kalos and 2 seed beads. Coming back down through the free hole. Then I'm gonna go into that free seed bead and the first one on the next. Just gonna try to hold this tight. Another one, 1, 2. Taking this down and going down there. And then coming up the next. Another one, 1, 2. Taking it down. And this time we're just going to go through a single one. And I'm going to try this. So I'm not only going to go through a single one. I think the 15s look neater with it. Not even just going to go into that single one, but I'm going to go into the colors underneath. And I'm gonna come back up just the Kalos, the other hole, and then we kind of need to jump. Stitch to it. No, kind of need to jump from here to get to the top here. So we either, if we cross here, I think if I go up in this seed bead, but I don't go into that hole which is above that seed bead, I'm going to go into the hole which is on the side. Will that make our pattern wonky? Let's have a look. I think we might just be able to get away with it. And then we don't have to add anything to the side. So I'm in the position again to pick up a Kalos, 2 seed beads, take this down, come down through there to the seed bead, up the next unit. There we go. Up the next Kalos, 2 seed beads. What do we think? Does the 15 looks neater with it, or did the 11 look better? Down the free hole, down this, up the next one, next Kalos. Now, like I'm seeing that with the 15s, I kind of do like the 15s, but I think the 11s maybe look better. Rachel thinks she's loving this one. So going to the free hole, down to seed bead and the Kalos underneath it. And then we're going to come up the other hole of that Kalos and the seed bead above. And then go into the very side one and go up to the top. I think we need to try this pattern with size 11s. I'm going to add one more row of the 15, so we have 4 rows, but if I pop this next door to it, I think it looks neater, but you can see more threads there because they're not as big as the 11s. Where the 11s are next to each other, they kind of fill that gap. So I think the 15 is great, but we're gonna see threads. I'm gonna do one more row or a couple of rows, so we have got a proper comparison. What do you think? Let me know in the chat. Shall we go back and try this method with the 11? So we got no sides at all. Or shall we stick with the 15s? Mishra is saying, I think you missed a seed bead. Oh yes, I did. Michelle, I did. I did miss a seed bead, just that. Look, she spotted it. Well done. Thank you so much. Oh, I love it. I love it. You lot looking out for me. I go down and up. I thought you felt a bit funny. I'm like, what? Just keep quiet and keep on beating. There's no... Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for letting me know, Michelle. We have one bag of the Kalos to make a bracelet. Absolutely. Because I think, I don't know, Lucy, would you be able to check on a website how many is in a bag? But if I add one more row on, I think that will be about 1 inch. So we'll know how many we're going to need for 1 inch. Right, turning around. I just don't like that I can see so many seed and so many thread. So that's why I think the 11. Could try it with 11. Yeah, I think we go back to the 11 and try it with the 11 and see what happens. It looks nice, just like that. But we equally... No, we couldn't because it won't sit the same way. He has to go that way. That like pink, get a whole row up and come down, but it won't sit because each one of them is connected. I do one more row. So, and I think that will be about 1 inch. So we can measure how much exactly 1 inch is, and then we can work out how many beads you would need for a bracelet. But I'm going to go back, and after this I'm going to try it with 11s because I quite like the look of it. It's quite simple, and sometimes in beadwork less is more, so I like to use like less beads, like less not less beads in terms of that not enough beads, but like just 2 type of beads, because you can add more and more on different kinds, and it's going to be weird and wonderful, and like, you know, you can do some really nice and quirky and beautiful designs. But sometimes I think there is a power of just using seed bead and one shape, or one thing or another, but just using, you know, or maybe plainer colors and using something which is really sparkly to balance it out. So I'm just going to turn around for this. I think this is kind of works, this thread path for us, and it's kind of easy to do as well. So I'm going to grab another thread and we're going to try it with 11. So where is my ruler? It was here. Yeah, it's on the mat. There we go. So this one is 1 inch. Look at that, it's one inch long. So Lucy's saying 10-gram bag, around 120 beads. So they always, like, you know, there's always a few more beads than 120 in there because it's approximately 120. So, and on this one we got 15. So 15 beads will make you 1 inch. So if you want an 8-inch bracelet, that's 120 beads, so definitely. But don't forget, you're going to be adding a clasp to it as well, which is lengthen it. So one bag will be, for a 3-row bracelet, will be perfect. Right, let us go back to the 11s and try the 11s again. And I'm going to go back to the other color. But if I put the two next to each other, I think visually, the only thing which is not pleasing to my eye is the sides. And because you got rid of the sides here, I think it will look really nice with 11s. Ooh. Ooh. I just thought of something. and I might be very, very naughty. And I might get something out. Well, and it's actually just went on the website. And because there is so many beads on it, one strand would be enough. Right, let's try this one or this one. Which color would go best? Is it the same? It's the same. So, if you are on the newsletter, if you are on our newsletter, you know that this weekend we had these micro beads out, and these micro crystals are actually the size of a 2mm seed bead, like a size 11 seed bead. So I'm tempted to use these crystals, and they do actually have quite a nice size hole on them because I tested it. So with size D thread, which is super long D, I can, with a size 11 needle, I can go through it 5 times. So they are beautiful. So shall we try the crystals? Lucy said, "Oh, I saw these tiny beads. They are fab." She was saying, "I like a ring." I haven't. I only just found it today. I did this last summer, I think you remember, and then this is one of the gemstone ones, and I only found it today. But I think I'm gonna be going back and doing some rings with these beautiful crystals. Shall we try these crystals instead of the size 11s? Let me know in the chat if you want me to try it. And I grab another needle and thread in the meantime. So we start with a fresh thread. Shall we try these beautiful crystals? Please say yes. Please say yes. Everybody say yes. Just say yes. Because I really, really want to try them out. They are so, so gorgeous. Like, I was like, when I was looking at the big hank at work, and there was like, I don't know, 200 strands in there. I was like, oh, I want a big hank like that. Oh, Rich is saying be naughty. Yeah. Yes, who wouldn't want crystals? Have ordered some micro beads. Lucy saying, oh, you saw them. Victoria's saying yes, please. Yep, going with the crystals then. Thanks. High five, everybody. Thank you. I love it. I really do love. Right, so what actually we're going to have to quickly work out then how we're going to start this. How are we going to start this? And how are we going to turn around at the very bottom? Because it's well and good that we get to the top here. We're going to have to turn around on a bead. But I think that will be fine. That will be fine. I might even, for a better tension, I'm going to start with going down on the Kalos, picking up a seed bead, and actually it will be crystal, and then it's gonna, I don't want like this last one where we turned our thread path, which is kind of like gonna hang there like that, but we can turn it, so that's not a problem. Or if you start our thread path by going down there and then coming up and down, right? I do that. So I picked up a Kalos. I'm gonna get some of these beautiful crystals off. Just because I brought them home on Friday, we can try them. Oh, and actually, I don't even want this color. I want the other one. I want the blue one. I think the blue one will go nicer. Don't we agree? I think the blue one will go nicer with it. So I'm just going to leave that on there. I'll take you on off at the end. So going down, picking up a crystal. And I'm just going to turn around in this crystal, come back up through the other hole. So I'm kind of like double starting on the first bead, so I get a better tension, because I still don't really want to knot my tail and then my working end together, because I don't want that knot to seep into neither the crystal nor the Kalos. And now I'm going to pick up 2 crystals. 1, 2. I'm going to go down through the other hole. I'm going to pick up 2 crystals, another Kalos, and another 2 crystals. One, 2. They are all so sparkly. I love it. Lorna is saying yes, blue. Yeah, I think the blue will look really nice with this one. And coming back down on there. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I remembered this. You know, at the moment that like my brain is like a sieve. But I'm so glad, because I think this is going to look really great. My threads keep getting caught on the side of my table. Right, going back down. And on this very last one, pulling it up. So on this very last one, I think I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to pick up a crystal, come up through the other hole. No, but it's going to turn my crystal. No, I'm just going to pick up a crystal and go up through the same hole. And then through this crystal and start. And we sort that last crystal out. I'm just so excited to do to see how it looks like with the crystal. We sort out the ends later. No problem. We sort out later. Not worrying about ends. I want to see how the pattern is going to develop. Right, so going through the free hole, going down on that, and then I need to come up through the next section and pull this up nice and tight. I'm worrying now, Michelle. I'm missing the bead. I'm looking at you very carefully. You're gonna have to shout at me very loud so I can hear it. Type very loud so I can hear it. I'm picking up a Kalos and 2 of those beautiful crystals, going back down to the free hole, and here we need to come up through this guy. Make sure it's not twisting. Oh, I like this. I really do. And then last Kalos, 2 crystals, 1 and 2, taking this down, coming back through there, do that, and Kalos underneath. I'm gonna go, I don't have to go in actually, I'm just gonna turn around, pull this up nice and tight. Anytime like they don't sit nicely at the top, just sort of tap on them. And now we are coming out of that hole. I want to come through that crystal, just one crystal and not the Kalos. Just a crystal. Come on, thread. Don't go nothing on me. Just like that. Let's get the threads out of the way. There we go. And then from here, I'm going to jump. So I should be going on the hole on this side. I'm going to jump to the other hole and come up to the crystal as well at the top. Well, at the top that way, at the bottom that way, on the edge. And now we are ready to do the next row. So Kalos is this one. It's a little bit, just pulling it a little bit tighter. That's tail end. I'm gonna go down and pull on this. I don't think I pulled it too tight enough, and I don't want to have thread puff at the top in between. Yeah, that's better. So Kalos, 2 crystals, taking this down. Then I'm going to come back through the free hole, going down that crystal, and then coming up through the next crystal. So we're doing like a proper herringbone with the crystals, but the Kalos is just sitting in between. I'm pulling this nice and tight. And I'm going to add the next one. What do we think so far with the crystals? I think it looks great. I really do like it. Let me know in the chat if you like the crystals with it. These beautiful micro crystals. And I can probably, well, I'm not supposed to tell you, but there will be more colors coming this, because when I seen it, they just looked really great. And I said to Simon that we need as many colors as we can get in this, because they're just so beautiful to work with. Down to that hole, up to next, pulling this nice and tight. Next colors, next 2 crystal. Lucy's just shake. I just put all these new crystals in my basket. Oh, bless you. And then I need to go to the Kalos as well, below, turning around my thread, and then coming through the side hole and into that crystal. And I'm picking up the next lot, the next row. What do we think of this? I do love it. I'm going to do another 2 or 3 rows just to really see how it goes. But I think this will be beautiful. Going down. So I'm using these micro crystals instead of the seed beads. And going down on the free hole, that crystal, and coming up the next. I really like this. Sometimes, you know, as I said, simplicity, just using 2 materials, they can look really, really great. So we're still doing stitching. We're still doing our herringbone weave, but we're just working with the crystals instead of seed beads. Rachel is saying loving it. Lorna is saying yes, I love it with the crystals. I'm glad you like it. I really love it too. And once you kind of done a few rows, it's gonna get, if we had a single whole bead, I don't think we would be able to do it as nicely, because the beads wouldn't sit just as well on the side. Like, they wouldn't be able to come out, if that makes any sense. But if anybody tries this with a 1 hole bead, then please send me a picture, because I would be interested to know how does it. I think if the crystals sit really nicely because the Kalos has got 2 holes. But if you just had 1 hole, I don't think it would sit as nicely, because we would be going up and down in the same hole. Oh, I missed one. Coming down to the free hole and that crystal underneath, and up on the next one. I'm doing that with a few more colors. I'm doing the same again. And 2 crystals. Coming down. Oh my god, there's so many different things we could do with this. Like, there's so many different patterns you could do with these beads. I have to I'm gonna have to experiment this week with this one. Although I got so much the upcoming week that is like the kids on half term, so Christopher is going sailing and Lucy's doing things, and I think my head will be spinning by the end of the week. And on Friday we're going up, they're having celebrations on the high street. There's so many things are going to be happening next week. Next one. Right, crystal, crystal. Taking it down. And up. Down that one and up the next one. And then doing, I think it looks great. I love these little crystals. I'm loving it. Nicer than I'm gonna put it next to the seed bead one we did. Just in a sec. Let me add. You know, this is gonna be that exactly 1 more row night. Because I'm gonna be sitting here and I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna add 1 more row, and before I know it, I bet it's gonna be like midnight. And going down. So anytime when I design things, you start off with one thing and you kind of like change the stitch if you have to, you perfect the pattern if you have to. Going up, just pull this up nice and tight, and the Kalos and the crystal. So I step down a row to step up again. I'm just going to cut across to the very last one, and I'm in position to add my next row. Just like that. I think, look, that looks That looks really nice. And I love how the crystals like sit on an angle with the herringbone stitch. I will have a play and do other bits and pieces, but as we start, I kind of like the idea of a kind of like some sort of netting. I'm going to have a little bit more of a play with this, because you can do a lot of things with a lot of different shapes of beads, but it's always a turnaround what like gets me, or get different, you know, where you have to work at the edges like really nicely, and it's like, how do I turn around? Do I add an anchor bead here, or how am I going to do it? Or am I going to have a side which is just like going to be hanging? So I'm going to have a little more play with this, because I think maybe if we did it diagonally, coming that way and going back up, maybe it would just work out, because in one side you're going to be sort of decreasing, another side you're going to be increasing the pattern, and then they could just might just bind into each other. So I will have a little play if I get time this week. There we go. So there is the size 11 one, and there is the crystal one. Well, let me turn around. So they're sitting the same way. They all sit in the same way. The size 15s are nice, but I think they're too small. The size 11s again are nice. Without the sides, probably they would be really nice as well, but I am loving the crystals. The crystals is my favorite. So I think I'm gonna have a, I'm gonna definitely bead this up into a little bracelet, and I'm gonna bring this in and show it to you nice close up. Come on, camera. There we go. Probably that's how much furthest I can bring you up. Can you see that how nicely they sit together? Come on, camera. There we go. Because the crystals just sparkle just a tiny bit as you're moving it. And the Kalos beads are just sitting there nicely, and they got so many nice colors in them that I think it's gonna look great. Right, my lovelies, it's 8 o'clock. I need to go and sort out my children. Everybody have a beautiful evening. Announcement is that Natalie's with you tomorrow, and Natalie's going to be with you on Wednesday morning. I am going to be with you on Wednesday night on here. So Natalie's on Totally Beads on tomorrow and Wednesday. I'm going to be with you on here on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. So we're keeping the time same, but we are changing it to Wednesdays for the summer, because on other weekends, like a lot of people out and got family things and all sorts of other things. So probably a midweek is the best time for everybody, where everybody is the less busy. So we're gonna do that for the summer. We're gonna have it on Wednesday nights. Also, Bead Club, if any ladies in a Bead Clubs, and if you haven't heard it, the Bead Club from Tuesday, we're gonna do it on Wednesday, because unfortunately I can't do it on Tuesday. It has to be, we can't do it on Friday, obviously, because of Jewellery celebrations, because it's either Tuesday or Friday. So the Tuesday class, the 12 to 2, is moved to Wednesday. So be notified, but I'm going to be adding other messages in the group as well. And other than that, everybody have a beautiful week. Thank you so much for turning up and watching me. I really, really appreciate every single one of you and all your love and support. And I'll see you later next week. Bye, everybody.